race truck on the dyno. This has been a long time coming. He's got a really nice setup that's put together, and I'll let you go over a little bit what all you've done. You can do the engine, transmission, tell the guys what you got.
It's a D&J Enforcer 6.7. It's a Garrett GTX 55 33R 91mm. Exergy 400% overs with 2 Exergy 12mm pumps.
Yeah, you got Waterman for a lift pump.
Waterman lift pump.
You built your own 48RE.
Correct, 48RE built by me.
But overall, it's a very nice, well-built setup. The truck is clean, everything's wire tucked. We've actually done some baseline runs already. It's showing a lot of potential on fuel only. This is the same 91mm turbo that we've ran on the S10 on the Josh's Pro Street truck as well. So we know the turbo is a capable turbo of making a lot of power. We always run them with fuel and nitrous on the Pro vehicles. So we ran this on fuel only first, and it made 1075 on tune 1.
Yes.
That was 1100 microseconds, and tune 2 did 1256 horsepower. Tune 3 was 1400 microseconds, and it did 1473, I think. And then tune 5 was 1800 microseconds, and we did what was that number?
1649.
1649. So it is rowdy for a single 91mm turbo. The truck's playing really nice, data logging perfectly, temps are staying in check. So now we're going to actually turn the fuel back and add some nitrous to it and try to go on the lean side of the curve and work our way up, because he wants to be able to race this truck, keep the engine healthy. So we've learned that if we can run a little bit less fuel and more nitrous and keep our air-fuel ratio lean, our EGTs stay lower, which makes ring tension stay healthy, keeps your valves from tuliping, keeps your valve seats from moving, everything's better. So it makes racing a lot more fun.
Keep it healthy.
Yeah, so
keep it alive.
That's the goal today, is make a lot of power, but do it as safely as we can. So stay tuned, and we're going to put this thing through its paces. Okay, with the nitrous, we started going back on the tune file, so dial fuel back, add nitrous. That keeps our air-fuel ratio lean. That keeps our exhaust gas temperatures lower. I mean, we're seeing about 1800 degrees. It's a really clean setup when you run on the lean side of the fuel curve. So cooler, no smoke, everything's happy. We started on tune 2 and added a 50 jet and a 90 jet, and that picked up exactly 100 horsepower. And the reason that much nitrous only picked up 100 horsepower is because at that low fuel quantity, that 91mm turbo can already get the air-fuel ratio pretty lean and be in efficiency range. Then we went up to tune 3, which did 1473 horsepower, and we added nitrous to it. That we ran a 52 jet, a 92 jet, and a 136 on the third kit. So 3 stages and all progressive. And that did 1787 horsepower, so it went from 1473 to 1787 by adding that nitrous. Then we went up to tune 4 with the same nitrous settings, and it did 1905. So then we took the same fuel quantity, tune 4, and to replace the 93 jet with a 136. So now we had a 52 jet and 2 136s, and did 1995. He really wants 2,000 horsepower, so we're going to leave the fuel alone, and we're going to take that 52 jet out because nobody needs that negativity in their life, and we're going to put 3 136 jets in it and hopefully go over 2,000 horsepower. So wish us luck. Well, there you have it. 2,093 horsepower, 2,018 foot-pounds of torque. I mean, think you got the number you were looking
That's
for.
the number we were going for was 2000. we reached it, so I'm happy.
It's never easy on a dyno like this because you have to bring in power so aggressively, so quickly in such a short amount of time to be able to get that number. That's why chassis dyno versus racing, like we can put a truck on the track and bring nitrous in over the first 2 seconds as we build a ramp, but here we have to bring it all in within about a second of time, or else if I hold the dyno back to run it through the run slowly, it starts losing traction to the rollers and you spin the tires and you don't make a number. So chassis dyno at 2000 horsepower, there is a little bit of, there's some finesse and some technique that goes into it. So that's why, like, to really dyno a truck like this under hard load, you really should have a hub dyno or a four-wheel drive dyno. But this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to make sure we could make 2000 horsepower, and we did that today. That is the highest number on this dyno that we've ever made. I think Justin Ziegler last year with his triple turbo truck did 2023. So congrats to Chris for busting that number. This was still on Tune 4 that we did 1,575 horsepower on fuel. So you picked up a total of, I did the calculator, 518 horsepower on nitrous, and that was 3 136 jets. So that is not just a little bit of nitrous, that is quite a bit. But we do that. I could have made the same power by turning the fuel up and adding just a little bit of nitrous, but then our EGTs would have been a lot hotter because we'd have been that 16-17 air-fuel ratio, and doing this way, keeping the fuel down and adding nitrous, we can get in that 21 to 23 air-fuel ratio, and it keeps everything as safe and healthy as possible. You cannot do 2000 horsepower without assuming a little bit of risk, but it takes a well-rounded setup, and Chris has that. So appreciate you coming out.
I appreciate everything you've done for me. I mean, you say it's tough to make 2000, but we didn't have any traction problems. We really didn't have many issues. Other than a few, backfires, but the
truck worked great.
We had a lot of nitrous.
Yeah, we had a little bit. We used the nitrous controller, but he's tapped into the cam signal, and we're pretty sure the signal was glitching a little bit because a couple times it tried to bring nitrous on at 2,800 RPM, and we didn't have it commanded until 3,700 RPM. So that's some things we'll look at. He's also got an AEM data logger on the truck, so he's got a complete setup that he needs to be able to have the information he knows to make educated decisions and tune-ups to make changes. So we will catch you guys next time, but hope you guys enjoyed the video.